Friday morning's been rather slow. I've been waiting for some paperwork to come in. Finally came in, looked it over, deal with it the rest of the afternoon, or actually later today. This morning, of course, it's like the wind is watching or something. I went outside and it was like, just a little bit of wind. So I said, okay, I'm gonna charge up the batteries for the Mavic. I'll go down to the beach. I want to shoot down there, see the color comparison, blah, blah, blah. So it doesn't take very long to charge up a battery. It's like it do. All of a sudden the wind picks up and it's blowing again. And it's like, nope, not happening. So anyway, I played with some of the settings on it. Until I get that Mavic settings right, it doesn't seem to shoot at present as well as the other one, the Phantom 4. And I think it's just in the settings, I think. But time will tell. You know, somebody brought this up, so I'm just going to lay this all out in case you're not aware of it. But I've done social media and marketing stuff through that medium platform since, I think, 2006, 2007. And it's been evolving and everything else, but I still get, these questions, well, what's it going to do for me? And I get that, you're a business. What is it going to gain for you? And in some of these cases, people have said, well, I spend so much on advertising. And I say to them, well, what do you get for that? Well, I don't know. Okay. Well, in social media, you can track exactly who's seeing what, how they're seeing it, what their ages are, all kinds of analytics that you can use for that. And, in the case of like Eleuthera, Bahamas, I have a website, Facebook page, Instagram account, and 2 YouTube channels, this being one of them, that all that content goes out to. So all of that is exposure. And you can tell who's seeing it when, and in our case, we reach about generally between 150,000 and 250,000 people a month combined on all those platforms. So again, if you don't know what reach is more, it goes to you. It doesn't mean necessarily that you open it up and see it, but it's on your page that you've looked at. So a certain percentage of that won't open it. That's how that goes. And the people that, like when I put up a post for the website and that goes to Facebook, it's generally in the about 20% range that will see it. So if the post reached 2,000 people on Facebook, I might get 40 people who actually go to the website. It's just how it all works, which makes it a tough game to play. But you're gaining that exposure, and you don't automatically, as a business, get a direct input as to now. Somebody may see something that's done about you and remember, hey, I remember that. I remember seeing that. And it comes back at that time because at that particular point, you weren't in the buying cycle. But because you remember hearing about it or seeing it, that brings it, into focus. And then you can look at it more closely again. But a lot of businesses just don't get this, and they still put out their buy my stuff and want immediate gratification. It's sort of like a I put up $1, I want to get $4 back immediately. And it doesn't work that way, because I've even said to people with print, if you put up an ad and that person says, my page, my publication went out to 5,000 people, let's say. Of those 5,000 people, how can you tell who read it and who didn't? How can you tell of those 5,000 copies, how many actually went into individual hands? Did somebody pick up two, especially if it's a free thing, 2, 3, 4 copies for use around the house, washing the windows, God only knows what? Are those copies sitting in a warehouse someplace? Yes, they did publish 5,000 copies, but they actually only gave out 1,000. So the whole social media thing is a really tough one. It's still in its infancy, and part of the social media thing is being social. So you'll notice that on pretty much all of those platforms, anybody responds to anything, I try to respond to them as best as I can, as quickly as I can, and all of that. So with all of those platforms, they're gaining a lot of exposure that they naturally wouldn't have. And yes, in that 150 to 250,000 people, there is an overlap. What that is exactly, to be honest, I've never gone and correlated, okay, there's so many people who are part of the Facebook, and those are the same people as part of Instagram, and these are the same people. I've never done that. But no matter what it actually comes down to, there's a lot of people who are being exposed to Eleuthera and the businesses and what's here that weren't exposed before. And that is something that businesses just don't seem to get. It's not the immediate gratification. It's a long term. I said this to somebody last month. It's not a sprint, it's a marathon. And that's sprint, marathon, and not immediate gratification. A lot of businesses still don't get that. Well, last night we had like this incredible pouring rain. Like just stepping outside to shut the door, I was soaked that I had to towel off and then go back to bed and go to sleep. You know how that went. And I think we're going to get a little bit this afternoon, but I don't think it's going to be too intense. It's a little light behind it. But every little bit helps. Okay, we're going to do a little shish kebabbing tonight. I think we got chicken kebabs and steak kebabs. Delicious either way.